Yo, yo.
Yo.
How's it going, Yari?
Hi.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling okay. Is that okay for me to say that?
I think it's pretty fine. I mean, I'm on week 5 of being home.
Yeah.
Beginning of week 5. It's a little scary, you know. And I think about it seems like so long ago. I used to go to work every day.
Yeah. I'd probably get lost, like get on the train or something.
I don't even know if I want to ride the trains anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know. We heard Cuomo today, and he was saying this won't be 100% over till there's a vaccine. Or
Cuomo's going off. He's actually a highlight, like seeing the conference, because he's just like so fed up.
We look forward to it every morning to hear what's going on in New York and his point of view. And he was the first person I heard say God has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I didn't check online or Twitter or anything to see if there's any backlash, but
I didn't see anything yet.
Okay.
But I'm sure I'll see it. I just don't follow
you
those type of people.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't follow people that would be offended by that.
I mean, science is science, right?
So yeah, we've been kind of just keeping to ourselves lately. We haven't done a podcast or a video or anything really. We did our little photo shoot, your Euphoria Photoshoot. That was pretty cool. That was fun, actually.
That was cool. I got glitter everywhere.
Right.
Couldn't take it out.
A little bit of a cleanup after.
It was.
But
I ran out of makeup wipes. Like I don't have any more because of that day. So I mean, I get it, editorial or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it was cool. I had fun editing those and taking the shots and getting the actual scene set up. That was pretty cool for me.
Yeah, that was cool.
We actually used our hue lights. I don't know if you guys used hue lights before, but you can change the colors on them and change the brightness or whatever. So I mean, it was pretty easy, once we kind of got the poses we wanted to do and all that stuff. So
it's just so weird to me. Like I'm used to you taking pictures of me like at the beach or outside, walking outside. It's setting up a photo shoot and actually, messing around with lights and having to hold the lights was so weird to me. Even though they're not in the frame, they're not in the picture. I'm just like, this is weird.
It's weird, and I think me working on some photo and video sets kind of, I never like to take the time to put anything together and do anything and how much time it takes to set up or, even this video, it took me, some time to put everything together.
You were just having some difficulties, some technical difficulties.
Right. Yeah, like I won't go into the detail, but there were some issues with the mics, but it's working now. So.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that would make you say like, you know what, it's fine.
Right.
It's fine. Let's just not do it. Like me knowing you would just be like, we don't have to do it. It's fine. It's okay.
But I see how much work goes into some of these sets, and I'm just like, you guys did all that just for 20 seconds of footage, or
for like a photo, like one photo,
right? Yeah. or one scene in a music video, or a TV show, whatever. Yeah. You set all this stuff up just to get that one shot. I'm like, wow. So I think I do have more appreciation and taking the time. If I can't just press the button and go, I'm just like, before I was just like, whatever, I'm
it's
good.
Fine. Yeah. But like the quality shows, like our vlogs are better than ever.
True.
They're only gonna get like so much better.
Right.
Picture quality, the content that we're putting out, everything is just like looking back. It's like, oh my god. But it's like it's fine because you see the growth, right?
I know. I watched. I think it was our first vlog. One of our first vlogs when we went to Punta Cana. Even the music, I was just like, I gotta redo this. I gotta redo this whole thing.
But it's fine. Like, it's to see the growth. It's
the
okay.
growth.
It's
even
fine.
the podcast, I think I mentioned last time we did a pod. We listened back to those old episodes.
Oh boy,
can see the growth. Over time.
We're gonna try some new stuff today with a virtual guest.
Right.
So,
so a little later we'll pull in our. We had her on right before Christmas, I think. Mm-hmm. But Junae Brown. The Beyonce of marketing, if you didn't know.
The queen of affirmations.
And I follow her on Twitter now, so I see all the stuff she's been up to and people coming at her for all her positivity and shedding light on things. But we'll get into all that a little bit later.
I mean, it's inevitable. People are just going to be annoying and weird and odd. So I mean, it happens to me too, like not directly to me because I try to not involve myself so much. I don't have like a big following of people who interact with me on Twitter, but I see it with stuff that I would normally say or stuff that I agree. Like I see something that I agree with on the timeline and people just going in and I'm like, oh my god. It's just crazy. People are just bored.
I know.
And just,
Even worse now.
Now they
it's
truly
worse.
have the time.
It's
Like
worse than ever. I mean,
yeah, I've seen that with people with bigger followings though. Like you can't say anything. You literally cannot tweet anything without people jumping in the comments and be like, actually, or no, you're wrong.
Like
and it's
Oscar?
like, I'm just,
actually.
it's like, I'm just stating, an opinion or a lyric or something. And people just like jump on and go crazy. I'm like,
No, everybody hates everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Somebody hates something that you did. And just
Yeah.
like the more, attention you get on your post, the more, opportunity there are for people to respond, of course. So,
of course.
I'm almost scared to go viral on anything I say.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get into it online. Not what I'm using any of these platforms for.
Yeah, I posted my singing video and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I forgot about that. If you haven't, check out Yadi's Instagram page. He sang in Spanish. That was actually the first take. We did 3 takes. But we ended up posting the first take. I don't know what happened.
It just kept getting worse.
It got worse.
Like I was so nervous that I was like, oh my God, it sounds worse every time. So I'm just like, just screw it, just put it up.
Right.
I still to this day can't watch the whole video without like looking
I watch
away.
it at least once a week.
But I'm just like, why? Like I can't watch it and listen to myself. It's just I know I can do better. Like even though the first one was my best one, I know I can do so much better than that. But I was so nervous.
Right.
I almost like threw up.
And we're just in the house. You didn't have to post it.
After we did it, I was like, I'm not gonna post it. And still, like after posting, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it. It's just
I had to hype you up the whole time, each step of the way.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, that shit is fire, dog.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do another one. I don't know.
The response was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I don't think people are gonna say like, "Oh my God, this was horrible."
I mean, if they wouldn't respond if it was just bad, I
Yeah.
think nobody's gonna like share it or anything like that.
Yeah.
They won't respond. They'll just look at it and say, oh, "Okay."
Yeah, I guess.
Unless I wouldn't let you post it if it was bad. First of all, it wouldn't even make it that far. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm all for going viral, but I not like that.
You don't want to embarrass you. Like, hold on, don't embarrass me.
Like, why is your girl singing like shit on Instagram? Just curious.
Yeah, even my mom was like, she was so emotional. She's like, oh my God. And she like sent it to her friends, and her friends were like, oh, you're gonna have a famous daughter. I was like, stop.
What do you think your next song will be? You get something Spanish again or English or
I can do Spanish.
Lovers and Friends? Lovers and Friends.
Maybe Lovers and Friends. I don't know. But one thing is like I'm not a songwriter. I would love to be a songwriter and have like something. And also, I don't think I have found my voice yet. Like I'm very good at singing other people's songs. I haven't found like my voice and my tone, so it's hard for me to even like be passionate or excited about it because I'm just singing somebody else's song. It just happens to sound good. So maybe like Junae or something, like Junae Aiko.
Yeah.
That's like something I can sing. Surprisingly, I can sing like Adele. I don't know if it's like deep or something,
right.
but like the airy, like high notes, like Beyonce, like I can't do that. I can't.
No, you're not like a belcher.
No, I can't do that.
You don't have a big voice like that.
Yeah, no.
But I think if you have
more like a soul,
right, a soulful kind of sound.
Yeah.
But I think if you had the right song, you could make a hit.
I think. I mean,
you could make a hit.
I would have to find my voice first. But yes.
I'll find your voice.
That is not how it works.
We're making hits tonight.
You can't find my voice. Like, he's going to say, sing this, and I'm just going to sing it with somebody else's voice. But yeah, maybe I'll do another one. I don't know. We'll see.
Do another one.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yari has a very important announcement to make.
Oh, I do. I kind of keep forgetting.
You did your, what was it, a week, maybe 2 weeks ago? You did a announcement saying, just going over the unemployment process. Well, not the whole process, just saying you were laid off and you had to go through the process.
Yeah.
So how exactly was that unemployment process for you?
So the first, I would say, week or so, I mean, trying to figure it out online in the website is like a mess. Like, if you have to file for unemployment, it's not easy. You have to go on the website and put all this information in, and it kept like kicking me out.
Yeah.
When I was like at step 7 or step 8, it would just kick me out like, oh, you timed out or whatever.
Right.
So it's not something that I can like kind of put it, like a guideline for anybody. Like, you're just gonna have to go through it and do everything you need to do. And then luckily I was able to file, but my announcement is that I also got a job.
What?
So I'm very excited to announce that I actually have a job that I'm starting Monday.
What?
All virtual, working from home. It's a better pay than my last job,
Right.
and it's like
In a different
in
industry?
a different industry. It's like it just all worked out so perfectly, and I just can't. I was having a rough time kind of identifying my feelings towards this whole situation because of everything happening in the world. But I'm very happy and excited, and I deserve this.
I think you do. I think, you've been through enough.
Yeah.
How long have you been working in the hospitality industry?
Oh my God, since I was like 18, 19.
Shit.
So yeah, so like 10 years. It's just been, it's been a whirlwind of, just like curveballs and me and just making it through and roll with the punches. But I can start over.
Yeah.
Doing something exciting, something innovative. I won't share all the details, but I'm working for an amazing company. And they're allowing me to start working from home.
That's going to be a little
great.
weird.
I mean, it's going to be weird because I've never done that. Like, I've never worked from home, period. And this is like starting the job, like training, onboarding, everything from home. So we'll see. And it's also a new thing for them, for the company. So I think we're just going to be learning all together.
So hopefully the onboarding process is good and, they get you up to speed, pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty simple, but we'll see.
I was listening to the interview here and there.
Yeah. Like, stop listening to my interview. I told you I get nervous going to the room.
You didn't know I was listening. I was
go
in the
in the bedroom and you're still like listening, like, everybody asks the same question, huh? I'm like, you're listening to
every now and then I'll take the headphones off and see what's going on. But, from what I heard, it sounded like some good people
I
in there.
just can't deal. I'm like, bro, stop listening. I get nervous. But I obviously nailed the interview.
You nailed it.
I got a new job. I'm out here in these streets. Like, not in the streets.
Not
literally in the street. But I'm out here. I'm newly employed. I'm so excited. I just want to thank everybody for like their support and everybody who reached out and texted me and everybody who's like, my feelings are with you. This is a tough time. I luckily got out of this, but a lot of people are still going through the unemployment process. And also, if you're still applying and looking for a job, I want you to use like my experience as kind of like an example of this can happen for me. Nobody thought, and especially not me, like after being furloughed, after having all this situation with coronavirus, I didn't think that I was going to land a new and better job.
Right.
It didn't even cross my mind.
Right. You were so disappointed about, not knowing what your future was that you were just like...
I was like, whatever.
Blinded by whatever could happen in the future. And
I had no vision for like what was, coming my way or what I wanted to come my way. I was just like, I'm just going to take this time being furloughed to figure it out. And then it just happened. It was just such a crazy feeling.
Right. We got to tell Junae when she comes on.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure she's going to have some great things to say.
Well, she texted me like 10 seconds after I posted the video.
Yeah.
And she texted me like, I'm so happy for you. She's such a sweetheart. Like, she was just right away texting me like, I'm happy for you. And she texted me when I posted the video that I got laid off. And she was like, oh, sorry. Yeah, that's what I mean. She texted me when I posted that video saying like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. If I hear of anything or freelance work, I'll let you know. Like, don't, keep your head up and all that stuff. So it's just very appreciated.
Right.
So if you're applying for jobs, just keep doing it. I mean, I was applying for jobs way before I was furloughed and, doing interviews and just getting a feel for what I wanted to do. So it just so happened that it happened now.
Right.
But just stay in the game, guys.
No time like the present.
No time
when you're
like
at
the
your
present.
lowest point to, get another job. So congratulations, Yari.
I did it.
I'll drink to that.
Yes, cheers.
And we've seen a lot of stuff online, people arguing and being in the house stuck together. I actually saw domestic violence numbers have gone up.
Unfortunately, I saw that too, yeah.
I saw an article on that. So yeah, I mean, for us, it's been, I think being in this situation, stuck in the house with, whoever you're stuck with, it's going to either strengthen or it's going to magnify whatever you had going on before. And I think we have done, a decent job in trying to, be in this together and not argue about anything. And, we've honestly just been having fun all day.
We've been having the best time. It's just like crazy to me. Like, and I don't want to be like, haha, your relationship sucks. But we have been having the best time cooking food, making drinks, like randomly dancing and
it's almost
whatever.
To a fault. Like, you don't want to celebrate your happiness while everybody's struggling out there and, fighting each other and battling each other.
Our neighbors keep fighting.
Our neighbors fight.
You guys, we talked about this last episode, but it just happened again.
Yeah, last night we just heard a random scream out of nowhere, and he was like, "Asshole!"
It's not funny, but it's like, what the hell?
What the hell's going on?
But we've been having the best time. We've been, doing activities together, separating, going our separate ways.
Right.
Sometimes
You'll go in the bedroom and read, and I'll, play Call of Duty, or, I'll learn a new video trait or something, or something new with my camera. I'll watch YouTube videos, but we've try to find ways to do things together and do things apart. That are.
I've been working out.
Right.
Hello.
Yari started working out with me. Amazing.
I never thought. Listen, I'm gonna come out of this quarantine a new person, new job, new hobbies.
Right. We're gonna get her nice and strong.
Yeah, I'm weak AF.
Right.
I'm so weak.
Yeah. Those
and now
push-ups
you see it. Like I used to say like I'm very weak. Like open this for me and do whatever. And he's just like, come on. And I'm like, now you see it. Like I literally cannot do push-ups. My arms are so. Even when I do yoga, my hands hurt.
Right, when you have to hold yourself up.
Yeah, because I'm so weak. But we'll working
get there,
on it, right?
Little by little. I told her, CrossFit, I've been doing it for a year, maybe a year and a half now.
No CrossFit.
But it's all about scaling. And if, you can't do this, there's another option. If you can't, there's always a higher level and a lower level to whatever you can do. So just do what you can, and you build on that, and then eventually you'll work your way to whatever the next level is. So I think that can be applied to not just CrossFit, but life in general.
I guess. I'm not doing CrossFit, but okay. I was like, wait, did I just do CrossFit the other day?
Didn't we have a question from Kata?
we have a question, and then I have a question for you.
Okay, ooh.
So I'll get started with my question.
Oh, you're going to ask your question?
Yeah.
Are you going to propose to me on this podcast? Live on this podcast?
You wish. You wish. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How does it feel? How does it feel to be quarantined with somebody with anxiety, like high anxiety?
I don't think it's any different than our normal life. I mean, you're anxious all day. So
to me, it feels like it's like magnified, but maybe it's because it's just me and in my head. But I don't know if like you had noticed a difference, or if I had been like, in any way kind of like projecting, or I just wanted to know like from your perspective, from your point of view. Like,
I mean, you get weird randomly, so it's not like I'm not used to it. I know when you're kind of feeling weird. And I either bother you a little bit more or bother you a little bit less.
Yeah.
And depending on how you respond to my bothering you, that's how I know it's all right. I'll leave you alone for a little bit. I'll come back a little later.
Yeah.
But just knowing when to give each other space, and how you react to certain things will tell me, okay, she's not ready right now.
Yeah.
And I'll wake you up when it's time for you to wake up, so you're not sleeping too late and sleeping all day.
Yeah.
Come in, give you kisses, wake you up.
The best way to wake me up, honestly. But like I feel, even from my part, like the other day I was telling you like I'm having a panic attack, and you were like, wait, what? It's just like, so to be able to vocalize that and say it out loud is not easy. It's super hard.
I get it,
because I feel like when I'm going through all this stuff, I feel like people can see it and can sense it, and people can't. So I'm kind of expecting you to be like, are you okay? When you think I'm fine the whole time.
Yeah, if you don't say anything. I mean, we're sitting in the house just quiet, chilling,
so
or
I'm
you're
like
reading
inside
a book
my
or
head,
something.
like, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm having a panic attack. Like, what? So I just wanted to know like how it felt.
No, I mean, as long as we can talk things through. I mean, I think we can read each other pretty well at this point. And just understanding when you need me to be there for you and hold you or talk to you or whatever that is, I'm here. So I hold it down.
P.O.P.
But you don't bother me when you get anxious. I'm just like, all right.
Feels like it. Like it feels like
it's just part of the process. I'm just like, all right, I'll either leave you alone or bother you. Those are my options.
I've been getting very anxious about like I was excited in the beginning about like Zoom calls and
Right.
FaceTiming, and now it's getting to the point where I'm like, oh my god, because people are calling, like my family, like people are calling, and then you don't pick up, and they just keep calling. I'm
Right.
like, okay, I didn't pick up. It doesn't, because I'm home doesn't mean that I'm available. Like,
Mm-hmm.
stop blowing me up or sending me all these messages. Like, I will pick up when I'm ready, or
Right.
we can schedule something or whatever. But like, my phone has been so like busy,
Right.
and people reaching out, which I appreciate, but people like being like, how are you feeling? And I'm just like, okay.
Right.
So I've been just putting my phone to charge and like going to read and doing all this stuff, because it's like it's
Right.
beginning to be a lot.
Yeah, people, you still need to text before you FaceTime me. I just want to say that.
Especially him.
Just because,
Like,
you know, I know I'm home. You guys know I'm home. You know, I am working between 9 and 5 at certain points.
you're not even that kind of person.
But just text me first, please, because sometimes I just really don't like to talk all the time. That's why I like to schedule these podcasts. So I know between these hours I will be talking. So I will not talk earlier than that. You know, I'm just not a big talker all day. So I just don't text. Just text me before you call me, please. You know,
Come on.
If you do that, I probably won't pick up. I'll text you like, hey, what's going on? You know,
Yeah.
but
You almost never pick up.
I almost never pick up.
So
Unless it's my mom.
yeah, so if I were FaceTiming somebody and they never pick up, I would stop. Like, I would get the hint, but hey.
I get it. You want to check on me. It's a quarantine. You want to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm not going outside. So
Your
there's
friends
nothing to worry
should
about.
know. Like, people that know you know. Like me, I know. Even when we were long distance, like, if I called once or twice and you didn't pick up, I'm like, all right. Like, if we're not in constant communication, if we didn't say, like, oh, call me, like, you used to call me before bed every day. Like, if you haven't called me, then you will.
Yeah.
I know you're not the kind of person to be like too receptive to too much, you know. So, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
We have to go on.
And what was the last question before we? Did you want to do that?
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait
So-
or do it when we get Junae on?
Let's do it after.
All right, so we're going to switch to our laptop real quick. We're going to call Junae Brown from Brown to Perfection. And we will come back on our video a little bit to answer this last question.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. So we have Junae Brown here.
Yes.
From Brown to Perfection, Beyonce Marketing. She was on with us prior. We had an episode prior to Christmas. We had a blast with her, so we wanted to bring her back and chat with her, see how she's doing during quarantine.
Yeah.
So, how are you?
Thank you guys for having me. Again, I am pretty well considering just really, really staying positive, staying focused, taking care of myself physically, but mentally especially, because this is not a normal thing. I'm used to spending a lot of time to myself or, working from home, but it's definitely different when you're required to do it, and also just taking care of those around me that maybe aren't so used to doing it. But yeah, really just focused on when it comes to work, not overworking myself, but also not like getting into a funk and completely slacking off. I just focused on making sure Brown Perfection is ready to pivot. We were already pivoting to a very more digital space, if we could get any more digital, right? But to a more, digitally facing brand anyway. And so just doing that in the most impactful way possible so that we are doing what we do to the best of our abilities, but also prepared to shift as the world adjusts to our new normal.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing. And just keeping in touch with people that I care about. I think under normal circumstances, I can be very head in the clouds or heading to work. And constantly, it's very hard to sometimes get in touch with me, depending on what day it is, what time of day it is. And so I've just been more intentional about responding to messages and if somebody's calling me, if picking up the phone, because I feel like I am a person who thinks about life all the time and how it's so precious and tomorrow's not promised, but I think even more so now, right? And I think these moments are important. And if someone needs me that I know or I care about, have a relationship with, I want to be there if I can be there. Right. I still have my boundaries and I can't just pour, and then I'm not good. But I think I'm just being more efficient with my communication, I'd say, for sure.
We were just talking about, I was just saying, people still are trying to FaceTime me without texting me now because they know I'm home, and I'm just like, we're home, but still.
Doesn't mean I'm available just because I'm home, right? I still have a schedule.
Just text me. I'm still available through text. Text still works. What have you kind of have been doing? Marketing seems to be on hold for pretty much all the companies out there. Like, what is Brown to Perfection doing to kind of stay above that?
Honestly, I think companies that think marketing is on hold are actually like really making a mistake. I think if anything, now is the time to reform and ramp up your marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be pushy or insensitive, but things may not go back to normal for a very long time. I think that even when it comes to going back to a normal,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a slow start, and we're going to really have to figure out what things we can get back, when, how, like all these things. So I feel like you should be focused on pivoting your marketing, no matter what it is you do, no matter what your company does, so that it works in a only digital world. Like, I feel like you should make sure that you have both.
Right.
And people are also, everybody's experiencing this in different time frames too, right? Like New York is experiencing it ahead of Wisconsin or whatever other city. So that's another thing you have to think about. Next month, maybe New York will be back outside, but that doesn't mean Georgia will be, or California will be at their peak, or whatever they've experienced. Also, people may be afraid for a long time to do certain things and live lives a certain way. Also, people don't have jobs anymore.
Right.
So it's like, also, this life is not going to just go back to what it was. It's impossible. So I think, honestly, everyone should be preparing their marketing. It already should have been digitally front facing, if you ask me.
Right.
But I feel like right now is definitely not the time to like pause indefinitely. I think it's more of the time to reform.
Right.
Like what we're doing.
I think even for us now, even once this is over, I don't know if we'll do guests on their podcast anymore.
Yeah.
I've actually been learning some live broadcasting stuff, how to do it from our house, so we can kind of do live podcasts in the future rather than, having an event space and doing a podcast there like we used to do. So I don't know if we'll ever be able to do that again.
Yeah.
So we're trying to try things out and see what works. So
Listen, you guys are ahead of it right now. We're doing an interview right now. So I feel like, I think it's cool, even though like the reasoning of why we have to make so many adjustments sucks, right? And it's really incredibly sad that so many people are experiencing this, whether it's them or a loved one, and that people are losing their lives. But I think if I can dig and deep and find a silver lining, I think it's that we are being forced to expand the way we look at things, the way we think about things, explore different avenues, options, and tools. And I'm definitely a person that always encouraged people to be able to get it done by any means necessary. Like, there isn't a reason that you can't. There may be reasons that you shouldn't. So like maybe timing and stuff like that, quality level, but like there's no get it done. And so I think that's what it's showing, one who's really passionate about what they're doing, because it's like, okay, I'm not just stopping like, oh, it's over now, I can't do anything. It's like, no, okay, let me take a step back, maybe pause for a second and think, okay, how can I continue to do what I do and continue to do that well? And I think that's what it's definitely showing who's who out here. I think that's what it's going to be for the next couple of months as well, is not saying that anyone is a terrible person or terrible at what they do if they don't come out of this as a knight in shining armor. But I think effort is important. Like, I think people who are really, strategizing and being intentional, I think that counts for something. I think that, a real blueprint, a real vision can withstand so many things. And I think a real vision is also one that is adaptable and flexible.
Right.
Like, gotta be able to pivot. And I think that creatively, that's something that a good lesson that we're all for sure learning. Like on our side at B2P, like some of the first conversations I've had with people I work with frequently is I'm like, I mean, look at what we've been going over for the past months, our plan for quarter 2. Nothing changes.
Right.
Literally nothing. I mean, maybe our approach, because you can't be tone deaf and not know what's going on in the world. But for the most part, our plan is the same. There is give and take a few things, like, pivot has been my word for like the past maybe 6 months. So I'm like, and I don't know why. And I'm like, pivot has been a word. Digitally front facing has been like this phrase I keep throwing around. And it's like, okay, here it is. And it's weird because people were asking me, people that I work with frequently, when I said that I really wanted to be like digitally focused, product focused for quarter 2, they were like, well, why? Because, I'm big on events and real life in-person experiences, experiential marketing, like that's my jam. And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like we should really put our foot down digitally and product wise. That's just how I feel. I feel like it's a hole that, we need to like fill that in. So I really want to not, half-ass it, but let's focus on that. I'm telling y'all, 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks after the conversation started, here came this. So I said, okay, cool. And I was just like, there was a couple of like in life things, if I can be honest, on my list of projects that I kind of was dragging my feet on, or I didn't feel like I had like it on it yet. I was just like, still kind of in the lab on some things. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm not feeling and you got to trust your intuition sometimes, because I didn't know all this was going on, of course. But it's like, it works. It makes sense. And, all the big things, in-person things that I was excited about were already slotted for fall.
Mm-hmm.
We lucked out. Like, already slotted for fall. Like, all the pitch deck dates are for fall. And then they were for fall with flexibility. So I'm like, thank God, because, we lost a little bit of money on events like South by Southwest that we were going to be a part of, but for the most part, we didn't lose in large dividends. And I'm so grateful for that, because I know what that feels like when you invest money into something and then it's just like canceled. And
right.
There's not but much insurances for the event production world. That's just the truth. And so I'm my heart goes out to all my peers who have been experiencing losses. I know the get back is going to be crazy. I know that as soon as we are able to gather again, I think that the rush is going to be insane, because I think people are going to be hesitant, but once we kind of get over that and we can ensure that we're safe, I think people are going to appreciate being around each other a lot more, like appreciate going to a concert, appreciate a festival, and being able to just be around people and smile and not,
Yeah.
We can sneeze in public. I'm looking forward to stuff like that. Like, you can have a whiff of pollen and sneeze and cover your mouth, because you should have been doing that anyway. But cover your mouth, and then cool. People are not acting like you shot bullets. Like, I'm looking forward to the little things. Like I said on Twitter the other day, I said the first time I can go like, hey, in a party, I'm probably gonna be shedding tears. Like, this is a release. Like, I just think, oh man. And when you work in like anything creative, but I work in music too, and it's like, dang, like this is our life. Like this is our entire life. These are our lives, like being in spaces and seeing the creativity, come to life. And it's crazy. I spent a lot of time just trying to remain balanced anyway. So I think I'm doing pretty good on the mental health level, but I've just been encouraging people too, if they're struggling with that. Meditation is a gift. And for some people it's not your thing, but I think try it first.
Right.
Like I feel like I might have said this on the podcast episode that I did with you guys last time, but like even if you just go to YouTube and type in 5-minute guided meditation, 10-minute guided meditation, like it's really life-changing to just dump your brain for a few minutes every day and just be still.
Yeah.
Like you don't gotta be all, I feel like meditation is one of those things that people imagine it like it's only one way. Like you gotta be like, legs crossed, candles, humidify, like, diffuser. Like, no, you just, if you want to, that's great.
And just sit there.
You can just sit down. Sit down on the edge of your bed or in a chair, close your eyes, and it's work. I say the guided ones help a lot because, I've been to a few meditation like workshop things, but overall nobody really taught me how to meditate.
Yeah.
So the guided help. And now I feel like I'm actually in a place where I can just be still. Mm-hmm. Like I don't gotta like do anything or listen to anybody tell me what to do. I can just kind of center for a few minutes. If you don't want to hear somebody telling you what to do, even just like, you don't even gotta call it meditating, like turning on some rain sounds and just sitting still for a few minutes, like it is life changing because in that moment,
I'll be knocked out.
Definitely will put you to sleep. If you have trouble sleeping, they help too. But it's just like for a moment in time.
Right.
It's not a pandemic. It's not bills, family, friends. What am I going to eat today? What's happening with my creative stuff? How am I feeling? Am I feeling well? Is that a tickle in my throat? It's none of that. It's just being, right? Just sitting there. And when you're finished, you usually feel way more relaxed and just more empowered to do whatever it is you were bugging your brain about anyway. Because it's like now you can like kind of approach it from a more thoughtful standpoint. Yeah. Usually too, like a lot of people do meditate when they're feeling overwhelmed, which is helpful. But I found that when you do it every day, just because, you do have less moments of even getting overwhelmed. It's a little difficult for you to even get too overwhelmed because
I wanted to ask you about Twitter too. I see you're pretty active on there since I just started following you after our podcast episode in December.
I'm a day one.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been following you forever. But I just started following after our podcast, and I see some of the things you say, and I'm like, I agree with most of it, and I'm just like, when people are coming at you, I'm just like, I'm ready to jump in, and I'm just like, let me not, because I don't want to start a Twitter war. I don't even want to. I hate these people so much.
I love Twitter, but sometimes people stress me out. I'm like, what are y'all are y'all reading? And sometimes I just won't respond to people because I'm like, I'm not in a place to respond, or I really want them to go back and read it again and then revisit the response, because usually when I have responded calmly and I'm like, did you read what I said? And people will be like, oh no, I thought, like, it's an app that moves really fast. So I feel like people project, right? So they just see like 2 words and they're like, black. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought this was a safe space. I thought it was cool. What are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? Sometimes I question, like, I feel like reading comprehension is something we really gotta educate us. We gotta focus on that, because when I was in school, that was a big thing. Like, understand what you read, and are you comprehending it from a place of like, this is what the understanding is, or are you applying your opinion? Because that's 2 different assignments. There's the assignment that says what did this person mean, or what did they say, and then there's the assignment that says, well, what do you think about
right?
2 different things. Oh man, and I'm just just like, wow, you know, education is a serious thing.
Yeah.
It's serious.
You know,
It's
I'm almost scared for anything I tweet to go viral because then I'm just gonna have to like fight people all day on whatever.
You know what I do is once it gets past 100 retweets, I don't care if it's 101, I mute it.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't even be a bad tweet or something that's controversial or anything. It's just if I say I love roses and it gets past 100 retweets, I mute it because I don't know what it
trash.
yes, I've tested this out. 100 retweets is the number for me. As soon and every time I've said, "Oh, I'll just leave it alone," 103 retweets. Here comes somebody.
Yeah.
Roses are the scum of the earth, and people who like roses. I'm like, whoa, why? I don't understand. I just said I like them. You don't have to like them. So it is a little strange sometimes, but I really do love the platform though. I do. I love for every weird interaction like that, there are like 25 really good ones, really great ones. I love the community that I have on Twitter. I love like what we're able to talk about and discuss, from big things that are happening in the world to like what type of syrup we want to use on our pancakes. Like it doesn't matter. And I enjoy that. I enjoy talking about marketing and how we can all be our best selves. And I really do like the platform. It's, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
A couple people here and there. And you
here
also
and there.
have, you just posted an article about how to stay productive, right? During these times.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to plug that in right now to all the listeners.
So thank you. See, so we have been putting out at Brunch Perfection, we've been putting out original content. Most of it is centered around how to be your best self, whether it's you know, some sort of entertaining topic or it's, you know, tips, tools, highlighting creatives is a big thing we've been doing as well. And so today we dropped an article where we give 7 ways to boost your creativity from home, because we know that, you know, one, rest is important. So everyone should be resting, but I do know that there's a lot of creative people that want to be creative, but feel like, I don't really feel creative right now. There's so much happening. It's kind of hard to get your juices flowing at times or keep them flowing. And so if you're ready and up for it and do want to create, you know, be creating right now, we just listed 7 things you can do to kind of like get your mind back in that mode and refresh. So you guys can check that out. Yeah. Huh?
I have it bookmarked.
Oh, yay. Oh, thank you. But yeah, so if you look in any of the at B2P agency bios, you'll be able to find it. On the Twitter, the link is just right there. On Instagram, it's in our link tree bio. So you can check that out. We have a couple of other articles in there too, and some more dropping this week. We have playlists for different moods as well. The motivation playlist is up right now. That one gets me kind of hyped. Like that one.
We'll use that for our workout.
Yeah, that one is good. The women empowerment playlist too. Like a lot of people like that one, and it's all women artists on the playlist. It's pretty dope. But yeah, so we're just really putting out things that I feel like will help people
Have you seen, like some of
get
your
through
posts kind
now.
of get lost? Like with I feel like everybody's posting stuff now. Have you seen like posts kind of get lost in the mix and, you know, not get the attention that it might have would have gotten before this?
Personally, no. But I feel like that is very possible because content is at an all-time high, or at least it definitely was these first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I feel like now we're seeing a bit of a decline. I feel like more, yeah, right. We're flattening the content curve as well. That's a good tweet. I'm gonna tweet that when we get off here. Flattening the content curve right now because everybody was like in this rat race mode. And you know, I said on Instagram the other day, like, I'm not judging anybody because nobody knew what to do. But I feel like even people who have never put out anything felt this insane pressure to do something entirely different than they've been doing. So it's just, we would just like, everybody's like, go, go, go. Now is the time. This is your time. Seize the day. And it was just like, okay. But now, like, most of those people are exhausted.
Right.
And they're like, it's okay to rest. Like, we've seen like the narrative completely switch over, and it's like, that's true. But I think that if anything was causing people to like kind of get lost. For me, I never assume when it comes to content that everybody's seeing my posts.
Mm-hmm.
Even if when I first posted, I'm getting a good reaction, there's people that are online different times a day. So I tend to reshare things throughout the day anyway. At night, you know, I'm always up. So resharing things throughout the day. I boost things throughout the week because somebody didn't see it. And I tell that to clients also, or anybody I'm consulting. I'm like, somebody did not see that. Like, there's no way in the world that out of the trillion or whatever, how many people are on the earth and on the World Wide Web, that all these people saw you post your thing at 12 p.m. on Saturday. And that's all you got to do. It's like, no, you got to keep, you know, moving it around, putting it across platforms. If you're email blasting, however it is you're sharing it, I feel like you should continue to do that no matter what's going on in the world. But definitely, I say especially now.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, I feel like my engagement and everything is about the same. I did check analytics on Twitter the other day, and my impressions are actually up.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, I think that's with, I don't think I'm online any more than I usually am. That's the weird thing. And that's great because I'm always online, right? But I haven't done, like, luckily, and I'm very grateful for this, I've kind of been living life this way already. Like, minus the whole going outside and that aspect of it and being in social settings, I've kind of already been very like digital focused. So has been changing. My schedule is already kind of in tune with whatever I want to do digitally as well. A big thing for me has always been setting up my life the way I would like it to be, but also setting up my brands in a way where no matter what is going on with me or no matter where I am, that it can still function. Right? So that's how I set up the agency as well. I'm like, if I need to run to London for 3 months, I don't want anything to change about my company other than the fact that I'm in London. Okay, time difference, we'll figure that out. But aside from that, it shouldn't be a big thing. I also think about, you know, I'm a woman, so I'm like, okay, one day I want to, you know, get married and have kids, and I'm going to be a mom, and like, I need to have a flexible life so that I can do the things that I enjoy outside of work. So that's kind of everything, including digital platforms. So I'm not like chained to them, but they're also a part of my life. So I'm not like pulling teeth to like, oh snap, I gotta post. Oh, I gotta post something. Oh, what am I gonna post? Like, am I posting enough? I kind of eliminated that aspect. I think the only time I kind of feel like that is Instagram. But even with Instagram now, I think I kind of got it where it's pretty even for what I want it to be.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram, I kind of just post whenever now. I don't really pay attention to the whole time and when people are probably on. And I think it's been working out. I don't even look at the numbers as much as I used to.
Do what works for you. I think that platform is changing also. So, you know, I think one thing, Instagram, it depends on what you want out of it too. So like you can be being super consistent. And that's something like if you're looking for numbers, consistency is important. Paying attention to analytics is important. But at the end of the day, there isn't really like some sort of like trick thing anymore that you can do to make a superstar Instagram. It's just being authentic and being consistent. That's it. Like you have to be on the platform for it to work for you. Basically.
And I think last time you were on, you said you're moving to Atlanta. Have you been? How has this like totally affected that? I mean,
so funny thing is that this hasn't really affected me going to Atlanta at all. I'm still in New York because I got approached with a really great opportunity. And so I was actually, I kind of started the interview process for that, or I was the first, they reached out to me and then we started having meetings. And so that opportunity is in New York. And so I didn't want to just pick up, unpack all my stuff and move to Atlanta and then that whole thing go through and then I have to pack back up and move back. Because it's in the tri-state. So I have to at least be somewhere in the vicinity to do it right. But while waiting for that process to unfold, Corona became prevalent. And so then it was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to stay put for now because it's so much chaos going on. I'm actually strongly considering when things feel somewhat safe as it can be, I guess, heading to Atlanta and then pretty much seeing, because everything is like, even the opportunity that's here, it's still going to take a bit of time for it to unfold if that's what I end up doing. So I definitely have enough time. Everything's remote right now. Anybody really like opening up anything for at least another month or two probably. So, and it's just everyone has to switch to even the opportunity. It's like it's going to be even more remote. So thinking about, still going to Atlanta and just figuring it out and whatever. If I gotta come back. But for the most part, I'm just staying put. But yeah, it hasn't really affected anything there. I I'm just really, one thing this has shown me is I'm very strategic. Like I'm like plan for the plan and the plan and the plan. And if somebody like tries to like shoot an arrow through your plan, oh, I got another plan. Like I'm very much like that. I foolproof everything. Like I'm like, that's it. We are good. So even that situation, like if I wanted to wake up tomorrow, pack my stuff and get on a flight, it still works. I'm just, that's how my brain works. And it's insane because everybody's like been asking me all these questions like, what about this? What about that? I'm like, oh, that sounds fine. We're just gonna blah blah blah. And they're like, and I'm like, that's hey, whatever works, we're gonna get it done. I am like so not into like panicking and like getting super overwhelmed. If something is out of my control, like then it's out of my control. I just have to plan around it. If something's in my control, amazing.
Right. Yeah.
We're just gonna plan it and make it happen. I can have feelings towards something, but I'm just not in the business of like driving myself over the hill about things that I can't do anything about. The most thing that would overwhelm me is anything like dealing with my family. And even that, there's always a point in time where you have to be like, all right, am I better in this situation as panicked and overwhelmed, or am I better help level-headed 100%? Like you can kind of compartmentalize how you feel about things to be your best, be at your best. So I think that's kind of like just where I've been at and like how I've been navigating, but I'm pretty good. Atlanta is like, okay, we'll see. It's not going anywhere, thankfully. So just seeing, just checking the temperature, seeing how things are playing out. But we'll see. Y'all be one of the first people I'll let know. I'll be like on Instagram, like, good morning. All right, Atlanta, Georgia. Listen, y'all stay safe, wash your hands. I'm in Georgia. Till further notice. Yeah, I don't.
No, but I know you're super busy still. Like you said, nothing has changed with your schedule, so we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Our first digital interview, virtual interview.
No, it's crazy.
I think it's a big hit. You know?
Yeah, we're gonna. I mean, we'll probably have to take some more time to get it uploaded, and we usually just post it the same day. But we're a little more editing.
First of all, you guys are really overachievers for posting the next day, because you're gonna podcast with somebody and they're like, yeah, okay, well, this is coming out in September. And next thing you know, it's November, right. And they're like, hey, we posting this tomorrow. I'm like, okay, all right.
Now, I'm really on it. And I think that's something that we can identify, like we can relate to with you as well. Like it's something that, we met you that time. We set up the interview the following week. We posted that same week. So it's like, we're on it. Like when it comes to stuff that we want to do and content that we want to put out, we're going to do it no matter what. So for today, I was like, I want to have Junae. Like it's kind of last minute, but I don't know. Yeah. Let's try it out.
We got it done. Okay. Excited to be on here with you guys. Always good convo, always good energy with y'all. So, and I'm happy that you guys are still creating, because I think you guys have something special. I think this is also a great opportunity for y'all, because if there's anybody that you guys ever wanted to interview that doesn't live in New York, that's anywhere in the world, I keep telling people right now is perfect, because a lot of people are home, and they're just like saying yes because what's the reason not to, or because what they are great at can't happen in the same way anymore. So they got to make as most of their platforms as they can. So like, listen, shoot your shot. Right. Like, hey, here's the show. Would you like to be on? Like, tell them what they need to do to get on, and they're gonna do it. Like, it's incredible what is happening in that way, right. And how people are really like connecting and telling stories and sharing information. Like, this is a gorgeous time, and right. So definitely, you two guys are definitely two people who should take advantage of it. So I'm excited to see that happen.
Thank you, and I also want to thank you. I want to, we texted back and forth, but I want to thank you for reaching out when I put my video about getting laid off. I really appreciate it. It was like almost instant after I posted the video. You reached out, with your support and encouraging words. So I really, really appreciate that. And I also wanted to share with you that I got a job.
I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who gets a job?
Right.
The quarantine. Come on. That's like some GOAT level, like,
all this time.
That's what I'm talking about.
He finds it like when
that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Like crazy. Right at at my lowest, it's just like, oh, got a new job, better job, different company, like everything that I wanted. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. I think it was affirmations, Junae. I think it was affirmation, because she was here in the morning saying, I'm going to get a new job. I feel that I want. I'm going to make more money. Yes. I was like, okay, girl, okay.
You're right. All right. Yeah. Manifestation is a real thing. Like, the power of manifestation is crazy. Like, we stand in Aquarius Queen. Like, we gotta get a job that you want to at that during quarantine.
Right,
that's amazing. Wow. That empowered me for the week. That's my motivation. I'm gonna be like, Junae, cut it out. Got a job that she wanted. Stop it. Cut the excuses. Get to it. Say them. I'm in the mirror with affirmations like, I am.
I'm a testament of your affirmations. You put me on a flyer. My affirmation got her a job.
Testimonials. Got a job during quarantine. Okay. Listen, we can't make this stuff up.
Can't be realer than that.
Can't make it up.
Congratulations. No, that's really dope.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But let's jump into the positive. I mean, the conversation overall is very positive with you all the time.
Always.
I've told you, like, you're a breath of fresh air, and I appreciate, we don't get to talk a lot because we're both busy, and, but the times that we do talk, I'm very grateful for it. Always leave with a good energy, good vibes. So I wanted to hand it off to you for the positive note for this episode. So hold on. Can we do the?
I'll do it after.
Okay. So sorry. Go ahead for the positive note.
So at this time, I would like to encourage everyone to Stay positive. It's not easy every day. There's a lot going on in the world, but as long as you still have breath in your body, you still have purpose. And remember that in life, nothing is happening to you. Things are always happening for you. You may not understand what's going on right now. It may not look like the plan that you drafted up, but God, the universe, whatever you believe in or, adhere to always has a plan. So really just stay positive, stay encouraged, love one another. I think we're seeing now more than ever how precious life is. And be grateful. Gratitude changes everything. Like, be grateful that you're alive, you're healthy, that your loved ones are alive and hopefully healthy. You have a roof over your head, you have clothes on your back, you have breath in your body. That's more than a lot of people still have.
That's right.
And just stay encouraged. Stay encouraged and use this time to do something that maybe you don't do all the time, which could be rest, which could be creating, which could be just really considering what you want life to look like after this. I think we're all getting one of the biggest blessings ever, which is a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the power to create whatever life it is that you want, and everybody's starting from the same place, which
Right.
never really happens. Mostly from the same place, which rarely happens in the history of the world. So that's what I have to say. That's it.
Thank you, Junae.
Thank you.
Marathon.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you for having me.
I'm gonna send you when I finish it. I'm writing a pilot for a show. I want you to check it out for me.
We'll do.
I want you to
Okay.
how your
Come
opinion.
Guys, we got new jobs. We write pilots.
Right. We out here.
Right. We working.
I'm proud. It's amazing.
So yeah, thank you again for
Thank you
joining
so
us. I
much.
know we said a 15-minute call, but
It's okay. I know I like to talk. I
appreciate it.
can go. So really happy to be talking to you guys. I'm glad you guys are well. And thank you for having me as always.
Coming.
Let me know
We'll
if you're
talk
ready to
soon.
put stuff out.
All right. Appreciate you. All right.
All right, later.
Peace.